What up, world? Welcome to a new episode of BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am Brandon, like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms, Instagram, Threads, BrandonJaneau, Facebook, The BrandonJaneauShow, and of course, TikTok, BrandonJaneauShow. Go follow me on all of those social media platforms. I really do appreciate you. If you do, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Right where you go is the YouTube channel, man. BrandonJaneauShow YouTube channel. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help in the algorithms. I didn't clip anything today, but I'm going to clip some after I'm done with these two episodes and do a short for the day. So yeah. But go to the YouTube channel, like the shorts, like the vids, helps in the algorithms. Um, Subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. I deeply appreciate it, and thank you in advance. So let's get into it, man. So this is I Believe Sports, and yes, I already did an episode this week. But this is my top 10 list. And I've been doing a top 10 list on I Believe Sports, and now I'm in the 2000s. Started in the 90s, now I'm in the 2000s. This is going to be fun because tonight it is my top 10 NBA teams. Last week I did my top 10 teams overall of the 2000s, but this is particularly just the 2000s NBA. 2000 to 2009. That is pretty much the span that we are going into. So, who made the list? As you know how I do my top 10 list, or if you don't know how I do my top 10 list, I go from 10 to 1. I explain why each and every team is on my list. And yeah, and why they are on my list and why, I think they deserve to be on this list. Like always, if you do not like my list, keyword my list, this is what you should do. You should make your own fucking list. It's not that hard. It is not that damn hard. You can make your own goddamn list. No, nothing bad about that. Just make your own fucking list. All right, now. So let's get into it, man. So let's do this. Kicking off the list at number 10, it is the 2009 Cleveland Cavaliers, led by, of course, who else but LeBron James. Cleveland Cavaliers finished in the Eastern Conference that year with I think the number one seed, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think they finished with the number one seed that year in the Eastern Conference. They had the best record, I think, in the NBA that year, actually. I think it was like 63 and like 63 and 19, some shit like that. It was a crazy record they had that year. Um, like I said, and that was I think that might have been the first or second MVP. I think LeBron had one that year. It might have been the first or second MVP LeBron had one in his career. He got four. He's won two in Cleveland and two in Miami. I think that might have been either the first or the second MVP he won. It might have been the first. Yeah, that might have been his first MVP he won because I think he won in 2010, and then in 2011 he didn't win one, but 2012 and 13 he won. So yeah, but I think that might have been his first MVP he won. LeBron fans, y'all would know better than I would. Yeah, about this MVP, that MVP he won. But it's either his first or his second. I do know that it's either his first or his second. I know he won his first two around that time. His first two MVPs around that time because of how Cleveland played that year, particularly. I remember that year particularly because they were just dominant. And they, of course, lost in the semifinals to the Orlando Magic. Dwight Howard. Um, yeah, the Orlando Magic, Dwight Howard led Orlando Magic with Jameer Nelson and Rashad Lewis and who else? Rashad Lewis and uh, Turkaloo, and yeah, that Orlando team was just a bunch of fucking 3-point shooters and one fucking center. Kind of how the NBA is now. And it's kind of crazy to think about that. That Orlando Magic team, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But that Orlando Magic team was kind of the craziest thing to see at that time in 2009. But I talk about that team particularly because they are on this list in a minute. But that Cleveland team was great. It was, well, I don't say great, but the record was great. LeBron James, that was his first real year where he really just dominated and looked like he could dominate for years and years to come. I mean, even though they were making the playoffs, they weren't to that extent. Even though they made it to the NBA Finals in '07, it wasn't to that extent yet where we were like, oh yeah, LeBron's the best fucking player and it's not even close. And it's no, it wasn't like that. Him getting to the finals in '07 was shocking. So yeah, man. So the Cavs winning '09, the Cavs '09 team is on the list at number 10. At number 9, it is the 2007 Golden State Warriors. Yes, the Believe Warriors are on my goddamn list. You know why? Because this was the first team that I actually liked from the Warriors. This was the first team. See, people always say, like, oh, y'all became Warriors fans for Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Not me. This is the reason why I'm a Warriors fan to this day. This is the team that made me a Warriors fan. The '07 Believe Golden State Warriors. Maybe it's just who I am as a person. I love an underdog story. I love people that's questioning a team, just don't believe the team could be great ever. A franchise, maybe because it's also my team, my franchise, like New Orleans Saints. They never think we're gonna ever win, and then we show the fuck up and pop up, and then we win a championship, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" Same with the Detroit Lions of the time period we live in now. Like Detroit, everybody just thinks Detroit just this random fucking team that just popped up. And when I've been like, no, for 3 years, I'm like, nah, Detroit got something. This Golden State team was the team that I became a massive fan of the Golden State Warriors. Reason also why is because I was a huge fan of Baron Davis. Baron Davis, who at the time was a former New Orleans Hornet, he got when they moved the team from Charlotte to New Orleans, he was one of the people that got moved with the team. So already I was a huge fan of Baron Davis when he was in Charlotte with the Hornets. But when they moved to New Orleans and we had a basketball team again, yo, we were massive fans of the fucking New Orleans Hornets with Baron Davis. So when he got traded to go to State, oh hell yeah, I went with him. I'll be honest. I love Chris Paul at the time. I love Chris Paul, but I went with Baron Davis to go to State as well. So go to State had a fan in me. And then this '07 team was game changing. Like Baron Davis, but you had a young Matt Barnes. I think that might have been like Matt Barnes' second year in the league at that time, second, third year in the league. You had Steven Jackson. You had I think Al Harrington was on this team. You had literally a young Monte Ellis. Like this team was fucking good, bro. And then they beat the best team in the NBA at the time, which was the Dallas Mavericks, who came off of losing the championship the year prior. And the Dallas Mavericks had the number one team in the league. Dirk Nowitzki, I think, was the MVP of the league in '07. And yeah, they had the best record. And Golden State beat them in the first round. And people could not believe that Golden State beat Dallas. And I'm like, nah, Golden State had it. Like they knew what they were doing. Now, when they played against Utah that year and they got to the semifinals, they just couldn't overpower the Utah Jazz. And then Utah played in '07 and got to the Western Conference Finals and got beat down by the Spurs. But you know that is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Everybody was getting ready to see the Spurs versus the Mavs for the Western Conference Finals, and ended up being the Jazz in the Jazz and the Spurs just Jazz didn't have enough to stop the Spurs. They just did that year. So yeah. But the Believe Warriors at number 9. I know a lot of people gonna be like, why are they higher than the Cavs? The Cavs had the best record. Listen, man, I fuck with the Warriors more. The fuck? No, you fuck you talking about? And actually, that was one of the foundations for why the Warriors became the Warriors later on. Actually, so yeah. Number 8, it is my New Orleans Hornets, the 2008 New Orleans Hornets, led by Chris Paul, David West, Tyson Chandler, Peja Stojakovic. That was one of the last teams in New Orleans basketball wise that we were actually a worthy challenger and maybe could have made the NBA Finals. That year was great. It was a great year. that year. I mean, literally out the gate, man. We bombing, man. That was the first year I think we were fully back in New Orleans. It wasn't doing this half and half shit. People forget, like, New Orleans Hornets were like in OKC for like since Hurricane Katrina for like '05 season to like '07, like 2 years they were in, and even to the point where they were even saying that maybe this is why, by the way, this is why OKC has a fucking basketball team. I, I don't know if people understand this. This is the reason for why the Oklahoma City Thunder exists. Because the New Orleans Hornets moved to OKC because of Hurricane Katrina for 2 years. And it was the New Orleans OKC Hornets, which was so confusing. And to the point where people were like, well, do you think they're going to stay in OKC? And this was the first full year that the Hornets, now Pelicans, moved back to New Orleans and played in just New Orleans. And this year particularly in 2008, we fucking smashed shit. This year was the year. Like, I was so fucking proud of the Hornets this year, man. Chris Paul established that he was the best point guard because at that time in the NBA spectrum, there was a conversation of who's the better point guard, him or Darren Williams. And this year was just his year. Nobody could touch him. That boy was on one that year. I don't know what the fuck happened. That was the first year Chris Paul really showed y'all who the fuck Chris Paul was. But Chris Paul in New Orleans acted an ass. He acted a donkey that year, man. Oh man, oh man. And like I said, David West, that was David West's best year in New Orleans. He just fucking killed that year. We had a great fucking team. I think we finished second seed, I think, in the Western Conference. Yeah, I think we finished second seed in the West, only behind the Lakers. We got beat in the Western Conference semifinals by the San Antonio Spurs, who were the third seed that year, defending champs. But taking San Antonio to 7 fucking games was damn near shocking to everybody. They did not think we could take them to 7 fucking games, especially a team that came off of a championship the year prior. Nobody thought we could take them to 6 to 7 games, and we did. We lost in Game 7 because they just had more championship experience, more time together. They had more, of that time frame together. But yeah, man, the Hornets that year, New Orleans, the first year in New Orleans with the Hornets, man, one of the best seasons I've ever seen in NBA history. I've seen some seasons since then, but that was like the first, and maybe because it was so close to home, it literally was home. That was the first time I really cheered. Like, man, like New Orleans finally got a basketball team back. Thank God. So, yeah, number 7, it is the 2009 Orlando Magic. I told you I was gonna get to them. The Orlando Magic is my number 9, as my number 17. The Orlando Magic in 2009, like I said, spearheaded by Dwight Howard, who won Defensive Player of the Year that year, Jameer Nelson, Rasheed Lewis. You had Turkoglu. Oh man, that team was one of a kind. Especially at that time, the 3-point shooting with just a center in the middle, like the 4 out, 1 in shit. That concept wasn't seen at that time. So they were ahead of the curve. Like, people don't give that team their proper respect. We now give kind of like Phoenix that kind of respect, the Phoenix Suns that kind of respect for the 7-second limit in the shooters and all that. That was a team that was ahead of its time too, because at that time we ain't never seen just one dominant player as a center be the only thing in the middle of the court while everybody else is shooters. At that time, we had never seen that in the NBA. The Orlando Magic was the first of their kind, where Dwight Howard was the piece. He was the center, but everything else was perimeter. Jameer Nelson, Rashad Lewis, Turkoglu. Everybody else was about shooting threes and hitting mid-range jumpers. So that was rare at that time. In 2009, 2009, now it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But at that time, we ain't never seen no shit like that. So the Orlando Magic was ahead of the time, and people would probably never really understand that, and because if you didn't live in that time period, and you think I'm saying this, and you think I'm lying to you, you probably think I'm lying right now. You're probably like, ah, nigga, you lying, get the fuck out of here. No, they were ahead of the time. Like that at that time, we had never seen no shit like that. So yeah, the Orlando Magic at number 7 in 2009. Of course, they lost the NBA Finals, 5 games to the NBA in the NBA Finals. So of course, the Los Angeles Lakers. So they are at number 7 on this list. At number 5, it is the 2003 San Antonio Spurs. At number 6, yeah, number 6. Sorry, number 6, the 2003 San Antonio Spurs. Um, this might have been a first year with Tony Parker and Madam Ginobili. So this might have been the first year with both of those guys on the team. But I damn sure know this. This was the official last year of David Robinson, the Admiral, being a part of the San Antonio Spurs and being part of the NBA. He retired this year, that year in 2003. And that year they played against the New Jersey Nets, who went to the NBA Finals the previous year against the Lakers. In a 7-game series, it was incredible. It was hard hitting. It was crazy. This is the second title for Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich and their tenure together. They won in '99, and of course, and then it took a couple years to kind of get back to the NBA Finals. Of course, with the Lakers run, they ended up ending the Lakers run of the 4-peat this year. In 2003, they actually ended up ending the Lakers run because the Lakers had already went back to 3-peated, and this was the chance that they could get a 4. First time ever to see a 4-peat since the Boston Celtics in NBA history. And the Spurs ended that with Tony Parker, Madam Ginobili, David Robinson, and Tim Duncan. That Spurs team was different. Like, people don't understand what I'm saying. Like, that Spurs team was different, bro. And for them to end the Lakers run at that particular, Steven Jackson was on that team. Like, to end the Lakers run at that particular time, and then of course the following year the Lakers got back to the NBA Finals. But that was the first year where the Lakers looked human. Again, you got to realize, like, from the start of the 2000s to damn near to '03, it was the Lakers. It was the Lakers conference to lose. It was the Lakers conference, the Western Conference, the NBA championship. It was the Lakers to lose. And in this series, Tim Duncan really proved that he was the big fundamental for a fucking reason. Like, he fucking dominated in that Lakers series. People don't remember how great he was in that fucking Lakers series. That motherfucker dominated. And I think he actually won the MVP that year, if I'm not mistaken. I think he actually won he actually won the MVP in the NBA I think that year. Like in '03, I think he won the MVP. So yeah, and that might have been like his only MVP he ever won. So Tim Duncan was different that year. I think that man averaged like 20 and 10. Like 20, like shit, 20 and 10. That might have been easy for him. Like 20 and 15. Like it was like damn near 30 and 15. Like the man was dominating that year. And you still had to worry about David Robinson, who had been in the game, who had, was still dominant at his age. So yeah. Before going into the top 5, I gotta recap the list. So at number 10, it is the Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. His first of 2 MVPs of his career. His first of 4 MVPs. I can't remember. Like, again, y'all gonna have to tell me, because I think he won the MVP in '09. I know he won in '09. I think he won in 2010. And then I think he didn't win in '11. He didn't win in 2011. No, maybe he won in 2011. He didn't win in 2012 because that's when KD won. He won in 2013. Yeah, and in 2014, he didn't win the MVP then. So that's 4. So that was his 4. But no, Derrick Rose won in 2000. Derrick Rose won in 2011. KD won in 2012. He won in 2013, 2014. That's where he won. He won his last 2, 2013, 2014. All right, yeah. That was his last 2 MVPs. He won 2013, 2014. Because I remember 2 years he just didn't win MVPs. So he won in '09, 2010, and then the 2 years he didn't win Derrick Rose and KD won, and then 2013, 2014 he won. So yeah. So his first MVP was in 09. All right. I had to fucking think about that for a second. But the Cavs had number 10 on his list. Number 9 is the Believe Warriors. Number 8, it is the New Orleans Hornets of 2008. Number 7 is the Orlando Magic of 2009, who made it to the NBA Finals in the last NBA Finals appearance of the Orlando Magic ever in franchise history. Who knows? They might do it this year. Who knows? And then number 6, it is the San Antonio Spurs, who ended the three-peat of the Lakers, the possible four-peat of the Lakers, and won the championship against the New Jersey Nets in 03. And number 5, kicking out the list, it is the 2006 Miami Heat, led by Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. This 06 Heat team was different, man. Not only did you have Shaq and D Wade, you had Alonzo Mourning. You had Gary Payton. You had Antoine Walker. You had James Posey. Like that Miami Heat team in 06 was different, bro. Fucking different, bro. This was the first of Dwayne Wade's 4 titles he's won. Listen, 4, 3 titles. I'm tripping. This is the first of his 3 titles he's actually won in his career. The Flash was different. I don't think people like now we talk about Dwayne Wade and we kind of talk about him in kind of like a crazy type of way, but the player, the dude at this time before his injuries, motherfucker was different, bro. Like there was actual real debate that you can have that who was the best 2 guard at that time, him or Kobe. Like that was a real debate. That wasn't a comment. That wasn't like a joke. That was a real debate you could have had at that time because especially in 06, when they went down 0-2 to the Mavs at that time, and they came back and won 4 straight, it was like, oh shit, this dude's different. Yeah, the Flash was different. D Wade at that time was different. And at that time also Shaq was still as dominant as he needed to be to keep the Heat up there. This was the first of Dwayne Wade's titles, but this was the last ring Shaq would ever win in his career. This was his last ring he ever won. So that's why the Heat, and of course, Gary Payton. This was Gary Payton's only ring. This was Alonzo Mourning's only ring. So yeah. So the 06 Heat have a lot of history on that team. So yeah. Number 4, it is the 2009 Los Angeles Lakers, led by Kobe motherfucking Bryant. You goddamn right. Kobe's on this list. Pau Gasol as well. This 09 Lakers team was different. This is the team that lost the championship a year prior to the Boston Celtics in 6. I truly believe if they would have won, what was it, game like 3? Game 4? What was the game they had that big ass lead and then they just fucking squandered it? It might have been game 4 because I think they won game 3 easily. But game 4, they had that big ass lead and they just squandered it. It was just like, oh my God. But that 09 Lakers team was out to prove something that year. Kobe was great that year. Like I said, LeBron James won the MVP that year, which I still to this day do not understand how the fuck Kobe Bryant has 1 MVP and Shaq only has 1 MVP. That shit is wild to me. Shaq and Kobe both have 2 MVPs together. What the fuck? Like, oh my God, I don't understand that shit at all, man. I don't understand that shit at all, man. But anyway, Shaq is Kobe in 2009 was just as great as he had always been. But this time he was on a mission to win this fucking title. He was on a mission. And they won it. Like I said, they beat the Orlando Magic in 5 in the NBA Finals. People don't understand how crazy that 09 team was. That year they had young Trevor Ariza. You had Pau Gasol. You had Andrew Bynum finally play. That was the one thing a lot of people said they missed in the '09 season. I mean, the '08 season was Andrew Bynum getting hurt and couldn't really play. Um, Lamar Odom really stepped into being the sixth man this year. That year, he stepped into being the utility player. Like he was a switch knife, like that switchblade. Like he was everywhere. Everything you needed him to be, he was. Ball handler. You wanted him to be kind of the center. They also had like a little bit of that def lineup shit. Like they could have did a def lineup. Like that '09 Lakers team, people don't remember like how crazy that fucking team was. Bro, they could have had a def lineup. They could have had this the shit we see with the Warriors for the decade that we had the Warriors. The Lakers had a chance to do the same shit, and I don't think people understand that. Like Derek Fisher, Kobe Bryant, you had Lamar Odom, you had Trevor Ariza. Like bro, you could have did the same shit. I think they actually did sometimes. Like the def lineup we call it now, the Lakers had in '09. Like people don't understand that. Like yeah, that team was different, bro. Like that 2009 Lakers team was different, bro. Still one of my favorite, by the way. Still one of my favorite NBA games to this day is NBA 2K. Around that time, man, that team was fucking special, bro. People be like, you can't play with Kobe in that game. Shit, fuck it, watch me. Watch me. Watch me play with Kobe. Fuck that bullshit. Watch me play with Kobe. Watch it. But yeah, that 2009 Lakers team, game changers. Number three, it is the 2004 Detroit Pistons. The Spurs might have stopped the Lakers from winning, going back to the NBA Finals. But when they finally did get to the NBA Finals in '04, Detroit was waiting for them. And they beat that ass. Oh my God. I was so happy that Detroit beat the Lakers in '05. See, this is around the time where I wasn't even a huge fan of like the Lakers. I was hating. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let me say this truly how I really want to say. I was hating. I was hating, and I'm gonna tell you why I was hating. I was hating. I'm gonna tell you why I was hating. Because no matter what I do, no matter what, people will always tell people that Shaq was the reason for why Kobe won rings. So in '09, and so in '04, when they lost to the Pistons, oh, I was so happy. And it was kind of Shaq's fault. It was kind of like Shaq's fault. Like Shaq didn't outplay Ben Wallace, which Ben Wallace is a motherfucking beast, and he's a great defensive player. But in '04, like you're not supposed to get outplayed by no fucking Ben Wallace, bro. Like he was not supposed to get outplayed by Ben fucking Wallace. Like that just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But anyway, the Detroit Pistons of that year, they traded midseason and got Rasheed Wallace from the Portland Trailblazers, which made that team even more special. Um, then they went out and got then they had Chauncey Billups, who was the Finals MVP. Then you had who else? Then you had a young Tayshaun Prince. Like I said, Ben Wallace on that team. Rip Hamilton, still to this day, is one of the most underrated fucking shooting guards I've ever seen in my life. Rip Hamilton, to this day, is still one of the most underrated shooting guards I've ever seen in my life. This man still don't get the fucking respect he deserves. Rip Hamilton was that fucking dude. Like Rip Hamilton, bro. You can't tell me shit about Rip Hamilton, bro. You can't tell me shit. When Detroit went on that run for a good stretch of the Eastern Conference from like '04 to like 2009, it was because of that particular person. Rip Hamilton and Tayshaun Prince and like they were just special. They were special, man. But that Detroit team, if they would have drafted Carmelo Anthony, they would have went on and won like 2 or 3 rings. Young Carmelo, they would have won 2 or 3 rings. And number two, it is the 2008 Boston Celtics, led by, of course, the big three: Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, and Kevin Garnett. A young Rajon Rondo and a young Kendrick Perkins. This 2008 Boston Celtics team is just different. This team is the reason for why Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs. What, you want me to lie? This is the team that get that. This is the reason for why people think Doc Rivers is a great fucking head coach. But you got gifted players. Like you got gifted Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen. But what people don't say is, bro, those two dudes, those guys were hungry. They wanted that ring so fucking bad. You weren't gonna stop them that year. You weren't gonna stop them that year. That year, you weren't gonna stop them. And I love the Lakers. They weren't gonna stop them that year. I don't give a shit what nobody says. They weren't gonna stop them that year. That Boston team was just sent perfectly at the right time for the right situation. Kevin Garnett was fucking hungry. He was not gonna be deprived of that ring. Paul Pierce wanted to show that he was the truth. He did it. And Ray Allen already was one of the best jump shooters of all time. He just proved it even more when he was with this team. But Rajon Rondo, what he did around that time, he didn't really get going into after the championship, but Rajon Rondo was a massive piece moving forward for the Boston Celtics after that season. But yeah, that Boston team was special, was fucking special. And number one though, it is the Los Angeles Lakers of the 2001. That 2001 Lakers team is different. You think coming off of a championship in 2000s, you would kind of maybe temper the expectation a little bit. Nope. That not really. No. They dominated in 01. They dominated in 01. I think that might have been Shaq's first year when he won MVP. Yeah, I think Shaq won MVP in 01. It was just different. The Lakers that year was just different. Kobe was just on another fucking level that year. Of course, went against the 76ers in the NBA Finals and just destroyed them. I just destroyed them, man. They were just better. But yeah, man. The Lakers in 01 was just different. That whole team, Kobe, Shaq, Derek Fisher, Robert Horry, like Rick Fox, bro, the fucking team was just fucking. If you think about that team now compared to teams that we've seen in the last so many years, that team would have dominated now. I know people think that shit sounds crazy. The Joker can't play defense. Shaq would have fucking killed the Joker. Like it would have been bad, bro. It would have been if the Joker have a bad shooting night, it would be bad. And then he had to go down the court and actually have to stop Shaq. Oh, that shit would be bad. Who the fuck guarding Kobe? I don't think people understand that. Who the fuck guarding Kobe? Because nobody is guarding Kobe, bro. Prime, early, young Kobe, bro. Nobody's guarding Kobe, bro. Not a soul was guarding Kobe. Like young Kobe, bro. Nobody was guarding Kobe, bro. Nobody, especially nowadays. Oh my god, with these rules, they're a dish y'all. This should be embarrassing. It should get disturbing very goddamn fast. You'd be like, God damn. But yeah, the Lakers in 2001, yeah, I think that was the best Lakers team that they actually had during the three-peat. That was the best Lakers team in 2001. I think even AD have said like that was their best team. Like their 01 Lakers versus I think Kobe has always said like him and Mike used to always talk about like who would have won the 91 Bulls or the 2001 Lakers. That's an interesting conversation to have. But yeah. So before I get off here, man, clearly I gotta recap it. And number one, the Lakers of 2001 is at number one. Number two, the Celtics 2018 won NBA Finals. Number three, the Detroit Pistons of 04. Number four, it is the 2009 Lakers. Number five, the Miami Heat of 2006. Number six, the San Antonio Spurs of 2003. Number seven, the Orlando Magic of 2009. Number eight, New Orleans Hornets of 2008. Number nine, the Warriors of 07. And number 10, the Cavaliers of 09. That is it. That is the list. I will be back next week, of course, for another I Believe Sports. This time it will be my NFL top 10 2000 teams. I can feel the energy already shifting in the room. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. But yeah, that is next week. Till next time, I am Brian Janeau. Peace.